Range from country to country, but on balance, I would say if there's a statute of limitations, the honorable thing is to stick to the statute of limitations. But it depends upon the country and what the Constitution says.
Should we limit it to that? One is just thinking, because as much as other democracies or some democracies do not want, do not impose limits, but should it be like that, ideally, that is?
Ideally, every country must design a constitution which enables its people to live in freedom and development. And if this is the constitution so says, and it has the consent of the people, we must live by it.
All right, now for the latest on the Tanzanian elections that are taking place today, we're joined by our contributing editor, Vuyo Mvoko. Vuyo, very warm good morning to you. Welcome to AM News. But how are things? How are the elections going so far?
Well, thank you very much, Tumi. Well, so far, so good. We were here at this very polling station just before 6 o'clock when it opened. There was a long queue stretching all the way to the street. Tanzanians waiting patiently to cast their votes. I mean, over the past few hours, that queue no longer exists because things are moving pretty fast and everyone is cooperating, and it does look like the Electoral Commission has its house in order, certainly where we are right now. But we have Madam Miriam here who's going to share with us her own experience. She is one among the 22.7 million Tanzanians who are eligible to vote. Ma'am, thank you very much for joining us. How do you feel?
I feel great, actually, because it's not every day we vote. And I must say, since independence, this is another time of election whereby everybody is looking forward towards having another new leader in our country. And we're proud of it. Why I say this? Because since independence, we haven't had any chaos during elections. When you look at our neighboring countries, take an example of Rwanda, take an example of Burundi, take an example of Kenya, the chaos which they had recently. We don't have that, and we don't expect that to happen. Why? Because we're peaceful people. We love each other, we love our neighbors, and we don't want any problems to happen within our country. That's what I can say.
What do you think Tanzanians are hoping for beyond this election? Someone will be elected. Beyond that, what for you are the things that Tanzanians should care about, and what should whoever gets elected do?
What I can say is that Tanzanians are looking to eradicate poverty. That's the trend for most African countries. To me, I'm a woman. I want every woman to be able to send her children to school, to be able to know what her family is going to have, on the table. She should be able to know that she has a good shelter for her family. Most of all, she should have something to keep saving in case of a rainy day. But most of all, we should eradicate poverty within the families, most of all women who, and I can say this because I think, you're also from African countries. Women in our continent are the most vulnerable, women are the most poor, and women are the ones who are, I can say, put together the household. Because when you look at what they do from sunrise to sunset, it's a lot. Okay, we know more, men are the breadwinners, but without tradition, it's the women. So I want the women to prosper. I want whoever will be in power to make sure that that's actually put in place. That's what I can say.
Do you think we have the kind of leadership that takes the very issues that you are raising to heart, and that is determined to actually do what you think needs to be done?
I think we're definitely going to have that. Why I say this? Because when you look at the position we are in now, quite a number of decades have passed, and in the position, look at the needs of the people during that particular time. So I know whoever will come to power is actually going to put along, a strategy down whereby he or she will make sure that he makes sure that his people are well taken care of, and that they won't be disappointed that they voted for that person.
Now, President Kikwete, who's the outgoing president in Tanzania, led by example, following, of course, other leaders who have done so previously, and that was to honor the Constitution and to say, I am not going to want to change the Constitution. Now, there is a tendency across the continent, and this is a question I'm asking every African. There is a tendency among certain leaders to want to stay in power forever at all cost. What do you think of that phenomenon, and what do you think as Africans we should be doing to make sure that that doesn't happen?
That's a difficult question, but I'll answer it this way. During elections, it's the people who are going to tell that they want you to continue or they don't want you to continue. If you say that you want to continue being in power, then, the voting will say it all. So if you want to continue staying in power and your people vote for you, then you're home and away. There's no problem. But if you want to stay in power and your people don't vote for you, then, well, it's time to step down. That's what I can say.
Thank you very much, Madame Miriam, talking to us about how she feels. You heard it all from her. And with that, to me, it's back to you in Johannesburg.